Now, sexual harassment remains a concern in Nigeria, affecting people in workplaces, schools, and public spaces. While laws and policies exist to address the issue, many cases still go unreported due to fear of stigma or retaliation. Now, to discuss this further, our correspondent Sumayya Abubakar is joining us live from Abuja. Sumayya, good afternoon to you. Now, what are some of the common places where sexual harassment cases are reported the most in Nigeria?
Good afternoon, Blessings. Yes, in terms of sexual harassment, we know that especially schools, we've seen a lot from not just the primary level, but also to tertiary institution, universities. We've seen a lot of videos that have been coming out, for some of the students that eventually fight back by recording some of this harassment happening. We also know that this happen in offices as well, where superiors tend to, sexually harass the juniors. Now, this is not just a gender thing. It's not just for women. Men also faces this sexual harassment in workplaces, and they have little or nothing, to do. Also, we know that when it comes to this, that it's also faced in public places. Most times, I would say one way or another, a woman has faced sexual harassment in markets, where you'll be walking by and there's someone, it literally is groping you, trying to tap you, and then when you fight back and say, hey, that's not proper, this person gets aggressive, verbally aggressive, is insulting you and all of that. So there are a lot of places, and in our means to make, to do a report on International Women's Day, this conversation keeps popping up. A lot of people are saying that in every sector in Nigeria, especially because of the lack of sensitization when it comes to how, reprimandable this thing is, people don't really discuss about it. So hence the reason why we're bringing this to the fore. News Central has also been following up on this. But then in order to have an expert to talk about this with us, we have the director, executive director of Baobab, who is, talking about or doing advocating in terms of women rights and all of that. So we have Bumi Dipo Salami that will be talking to us about this. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Happy International Women's Day. See you.
Thank you so much for joining us. So based on your advocacy work, explain to us what are the major challenges and barriers that you'd say victims of sexual harassment tend to, face.
Okay, thank you so much. As you all know, sexual harassment is a crime of entitlement. And it happens everywhere, whether at the National Assembly, in schools, and it's been happening for years. And I don't think there is a woman on earth that has not really faced sexual harassment in different ways at different times. If it didn't happen in primary, secondary, university, at your workplace, in your even at your place of worship, it happens in churches, it happens in mosques, it happens everywhere. So one of the major challenges to seeking redress is stigmatization. Also because sometimes it happens in behind closed doors. There is a burden of proof. It's difficult for you to say, oh, this person is harassing me sexually without having any proof. And sometimes you don't even see it coming. So if you don't see something coming, it's going to be difficult for you to plan to get the proof. And that is what has been happening to women over the years. Also, it's a very lengthy process when you start court proceedings, when you go to court. But we always say the first step is to bring it to the surface, bring it to the table, let everybody know what is happening to you. And because women, the way we are raised to keep whatever is burdening us, whatever hurts us, to keep it secret. So we don't want anybody thinking that, oh, maybe they will not believe me. Maybe they will think I'm lying. Maybe they will think it was my fault. Maybe they will think, why did I go to the lecturer's office? Or why, even with my dressing, maybe it's me. So sometimes we find that women are even blaming themselves. So you find victims blaming themselves, survivors blaming themselves until they are able to seek help.
I mean, now, talking about survivors, of course, seeking help, we all know that based on what you've said, of course, that is what is happening. We're seeing women always taking the blame, or even people blaming them to say, you did it or you caused it. Yeah. So what can, institutions and even communities do in order to help these survivors?
Okay, the first thing that we always recommend is that we must have anti-sexual harassment policies everywhere, wherever we are. But there are spaces where we cannot have those policies. In informal sectors, for instance, because we have it happening in the informal sector. You find house girls being harassed. You find hawkers. You find shop girls being harassed without any kind of protection. So there must be a national protection for everyone that covers both formal and informal sector. We must also keep talking about it. There must be policy advocacy, there must be sensitization and awareness building for everyone so that we all know. Because it also happens to men. There are men that are sexually harassed by other men, and there are men that are sexually harassed by women. So it is a national issue that must be brought to the forefront of the conversation. So we need to have advocacy, we need to have sensitization. There must be policies. And in the cases where there are policies, because we have so many institutions now, they have policies, but there are policies that are on their shelves. Even the students do not know the existence. They don't know the existence of those policies. And then they need to begin to implement those policies.
Okay. Implementation is the key. Yes. Thank you so much, Mrs. Bumi, for giving us audience on this. I mean, blessings. This is, of course, what experts are saying about this situation, and hopefully there's a push for in a way that we can at least curb the level of sexual harassment in Nigeria and globally. Back to you.
Great to see that these conversations are being had, and definitely it's never too much to talk about sexual harassment and how to curb it. Sumayya Abubakar there with the update on sexual harassment and stakeholders calling for improved reporting systems.